Hello, my name is Aubrey. I'm so glad you're here. Today I want to go over all of my most anticipated releases for this upcoming fall season. So these are all releases within the months of September, October, and November, and there's a lot, so let's just go ahead and get started. First up, I have Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. This comes out on September 2nd. True love is more divine than any ruthless god. Born in the firelit domain of the Underrealm, Matilda is the youngest goddess of her clan, blessed with humble messenger magic. But in a land where gods often kill each other to steal power and alliances break as quickly as they are forged, Matilda must come of age sooner than most. She may be known to carry words and letters through the realms, but she holds a secret she must hide from even her dearest of allies to ensure her survival. And to complicate matters, there is a mortal boy who dreams of her, despite the fact that they have never met in the waking world. I absolutely love the Divine Rivals duology as well as A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross, so this is a highly anticipated one for me. Next up, I have Breathe In, Bleed Out by Brian McCulley, and this also comes out on September 2nd. Hannah has been running from her demons ever since she emerged from a harrowing wilderness trip without her fiancé. No one knows exactly what happened the day that Ben died, and Hannah would like to keep it that way, even if his ghost still haunts her with vivid waking nightmares that are ruining her life. So when her friend group gets an exclusive invitation to a restorative spiritual retreat in Joshua Tree, Hannah reluctantly agrees in search of a fresh start. Despite her skepticism of the strange guru Pax and his belief in the supernatural world, Hannah soon finds herself healing through all the yoga, sound baths, and hot springs offered in the tech-free haven. But this peaceful journey of self-discovery quickly descends into a violent fight for self-preservation when a mysterious killer starts picking off retreat attendees in increasingly gruesome ways. As the body count rises and Hannah's sanity frays, she'll have to confront her dark past and uncover the true nature of a ruthless monster hell-bent on killing her vibe for good. I just really like the pulpy cover of this one, and I don't know, it just sounds fun. Next up, I have A Land So Wide by Aaron A. Craig, and this also comes out on September 2nd. Like everyone else in the settlement of Mistaken, Greer Mackenzie is trapped. Founded by an ambitious lumber merchant, the village is blessed with rich natural resources that have made its people prosperous, but at a cost. The same woods that have lined the townfolk's pockets harbor dangerous beasts, wolves, bears, and the bright-eyed monsters beyond description, who have rained utter destruction down on nearby settlements. But Mistaken's founders made a deal with the mysterious benevolence. The warding stones that surround the town will keep the bright-eyeds out and the town's citizens in. Anyone who spends a night within Mistaken's borders belongs to it forever. Greer, a mapmaker and eccentric dreamer, has always ached to explore the world outside, even though she knows she and her longtime love, Ellis Beaufort, will never see it. Until, on the day she and Ellis are meant to finally begin their lives together, Greer watches in horror as her beloved disappears beyond the warding stones, pursued by a monstrous creature. Determined to rescue Ellis, she figures out a way to defy Mistaken's curse and begins a trek through the cold and pitiless wilderness. But there, Greer is haunted not only by the ruthless bright-eyeds, but by the secret truths behind Mistaken's founding and her own origins. Oh, that gives me chills. That one sounds so good. Kind of like folklore, but a little bit dystopian. Yeah, I'm really curious about this one. Next, I have Play Nice by Rachel Harrison, and this comes out on September 9th. Cleo Louise Barnes leads a picture-perfect life as a stylist and influencer, but beneath the glossy veneer, she harbors a not-so-glamorous secret. She grew up in a haunted house. Well, not haunted, possessed. After Cleo's parents' messy divorce, her mother Alex moved Cleo and her sisters into a house occupied by a demon. Or so Alex claimed. That's not what Cleo's sisters remember or what the court determined when they stripped her of custody after she went off the deep end. But Alex was insistent. She even wrote a book about her experience in the house. After Alex's sudden death, the supposedly possessed house passes to Cleo and her sisters. Where her sisters see childhood trauma, Cleo sees an opportunity for house-flipping content. Only as the home makeover process begins, Cleo discovers there might be some truth to her mother's claims. As memories resurface and Cleo finally reads her mother's book, a sinister presence in the house manifests, revealing ugly truths that threaten to shake Cleo's beautiful life to its very foundation. I read So Thirsty by Rachel Harrison last year. I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was just okay, but like there was something about about it, like a quirkiness, a silliness that I did like, and I am interested to read more Rachel Harrison. Like I want to try some of her other books to see if they work better. So I'm excited for this one. Next up I have You Weren't Meant to Be Human by Andrew Joseph White, and this comes out on September 9th. Festering masses of worms and flies have taken root in dark corners across Appalachia. In exchange for unwavering loyalty and fresh corpses, these hives offer a few struggling humans salvation, a fresh start. It's an offer that none refuse. Crane is grateful. Among his hive's followers, Crane has found a chance to transition, to never speak again, to live a life that won't destroy him. He even met Levi, a handsome ex-Marine and brutal killer who treats him like a real man, mostly. But when Levi gets Crane pregnant and the hive demands the child's birth, no matter the cost, Crane's desperation to make it stop will drive the community that saved him into a devastating spiral that can only end in blood. You Weren't Meant to Be Human is a deeply personal horror, a visceral statement about the lives of marginalized people in a hostile world, echoing the words of Stephen Graham Jones and Eric LaRocca. This one sounds really gross, like probably a lot of like body horror, bugs, but it also sounds really good. If you're a freak like me, the commentary sounds pretty interesting. So I put this one in my aardvark box and I'm really looking forward to it. Next I have Among the Burning Flowers by Samantha Shannon, and this comes out on September 16th. This is set in the same world as The Priory of the Orange Tree. I'm not sure like where in the timeline this fits. I have not yet read The Priory of the Orange Tree, and so I'm not going to read a synopsis for this one because I don't know if it's spoilery or not. Like I don't know if this is a prequel, I don't know if it's a sequel, I don't know if it's like in the same world but completely separate. For fear of spoilers, I'm just not going to read it. But the Priory of the Orange Tree universe, it's very epic fantasy. There are dragons. I think there are some Sapphic relationships. That's the extent of what I know. But I know a lot of people are going to be really looking forward to that one. Next up I have Bad Things Happened in This Room by Marie Still, and this comes out on September 16th. In this haunting psychological horror, Willow's life has become a fever dream. Her days lost in a twisted loop where time no longer flows as it should. Is she held captive by her husband Liam's iron rules, or by the insidious darkness of her own mind? Her only connection to the world beyond her walls is a young girl named Sarah, whose unexpected visits to Willow's garden spark a glimmer of hope. But as cracks form in her carefully controlled existence, horrifying truths seep through, twisting the familiar into something sinister. The floral wallpaper peels back to reveal haunting messages carved into the walls, and the house itself pulses with malevolent life. When Sarah suddenly vanishes, Willow is forced to confront the dark shadows of her past and the horrors lurking within her fractured psyche. The question remains, is Willow truly a prisoner of her home or of her own mind? I really enjoy a good psychological thriller or horror, so again, I'm super curious about this one. Next up, I have Exiles by Mason Coyle, and this also comes out on September 16th. The human crew sent to prepare the first colony on Mars arrives to find the new base half destroyed, and the 3 robots sent to set it up in disarray. The machines have formed alliances, chosen their own names, and picked up some disturbing beliefs. Each must be interrogated, but one of them is missing. In this barren, hostile landscape where even machines have nightmares, the astronauts will need to examine all the stories, especially their own, to get the truth. Exiles is a terrifying, taut, one-sit read, and Mason Coyle once again blends science fiction and psychological horror to engage some of humanity's deepest questions. A terrifying locked room mystery set on a remote outpost on Mars. The cover for this one is just so like creepy and ominous. It just sounds like a good time. Next I have We Love You Bunny by Mona Awad, and this comes out on September 23rd. So this is both a prequel and a sequel to Bunny by Mona Awad. So again, I'm not going to read the synopsis because I don't want spoilers. I haven't read Bunny. You may not have read Bunny, but if you're unfamiliar with it, it's like a weird dark academia with like a clique of girls who all refer to each other as Bunny. It's supposed to be just like really dark and really weird. I'm planning to read it this fall. I'm very excited. And again, I know a lot of people are really going to be looking forward to this prequel/sequel, and I hope it lives up to expectations. Next, I have The Second Death of a Lock by V.L. Bovolino, and this comes out on September 23rd. Love, loyalty, sacrifice. Gray Flynn has dedicated her life to her mage Kier. She will be his blade on the battlefield, his healer and protector. The deep well of raw power inside her is Kier's to use. Gray would do anything for Kier, be anything for him, if he would only ask. When a quest to protect the child of an enemy kingdom pulls them into the dangerous heart of their nation's war, Gray and Kier will need to decide what they are willing to sacrifice to protect their secret. For Gray is no ordinary magical well, but heir to the lost island of Locke, the root of all power. If she dies, all magic dies with her. I've heard some pretty good early reviews for this, so again, I'm really curious, and I like this trend of lady knights. More lady knights, please. Next, I have Queen Demon by Martha Wells, and this comes out on October 7th. This is the sequel to The Witch King, which I didn't realize, I thought that was a standalone. I didn't realize that we were continuing the story. And so I'm just gonna read the synopsis for the first one because I don't think it was that popular. I didn't know you were a demon. You idiot. I'm the demon. After being murdered, his consciousness dormant and unaware of the passing time, while confined in an elaborate water trap, Kai wakes to find a lesser mage attempting to harness Kai's magic to his own advantage. That was never going to go well. But why was Kai imprisoned in the first place? What has changed in the world since his assassination? And why does the Rising World Coalition appear to be growing in influence? Kai will need to pull his allies close and draw on all of his pain magic if he is to answer even the least of these questions. He is not going to like the answers. Next, I have Itch by Gemma Amor, and this comes out on October 9th. Okay, Goodreads still has this coming out in October, but Amazon has it being released in January of next year. So I don't know. I should have said at the beginning that release dates are subject to change all the time, but I'll read you the synopsis anyway. Something moves on the forest floor. Josie is at rock bottom, burned out, heartbroken, and recovering from an abusive relationship. She lives a haunted existence after returning to her isolated hometown on the edge of the Forest of Dean. But the tall, dense pine trees are not the only things casting shadows across her skin. Josie's hopes of a fresh start are horribly derailed when she stumbles across a dead woman's decaying, ant-infested body in the woods. The grim discovery sends her into a downward spiral, forcing her to face uncomfortable truths about the victim and her own past, all whilst battling the swarming black ants that seem to have burrowed into her mind and her flesh. As Josie struggles with infestations of all kinds, she scratches the surface of an age-old mystery. A masked predator stalks the forest around Elwood, a place deeply gripped by ancient folklore and strange customs. So when the village dresses up for its annual festival, Josie gets closer and closer to unveiling a monster and begins to ask herself, are these dark crawling insects leading her to uncover the truth, or is she their next victim? I really love this cover. I need more neon pink horror books in my life. Next, I have The Keeper of Magical Things by Julie Leong, and this comes out on October 14th. Certainty Bulrush wants to be useful to the guild of mages that took her in as a novice, to the little brother who depends on her, and to anyone else she can help. Unfortunately, her tepid magic hasn't proven much use to anyone. When Certainty has the chance to earn her magehood via a seemingly straightforward assignment, she takes it. Never mind that she'll have to work with Mage Aurelia, the brilliant, unfairly attractive overachiever who's managed to alienate everyone around her. The two must transport minorly magical artifacts somewhere safe. Spelling, the dullest, least magical village around. There they must fix up an old warehouse, separating the gossipy teapots from the kind of flaming swords, corral an unruly little cat dragon who is tagged along, and above all, avoid complications. The guild's uneasy relationship with citizens is at a tipping point, and the last thing they need is a magical incident. Still, as mage and novice come to know Spelling's residents and each other, they realize the guild's hoarded magic might do more good being shared. Friendships blossom while Certainty and Ariella work to make Spelling the haven it could be. But magic is fickle. Add attraction and it might spell trouble. This is the same author that wrote The Teller of Small Fortunes, so this sounds super cozy, cute, quaint. The cover is so pretty. Next up, I have The Devil She Knows by Alexandria Bellafor, and this comes out on October 21st. Samantha Cooper is having a day from hell. In less than 24 hours, her life has unraveled, leaving her single and with nowhere to live. Adding insult to injury, she's trapped in an elevator with a gorgeous woman claiming to be a demon. Daphne is not at all what Samantha expected from someone claiming to be an evil supernatural entity. She's pretty, witty, dressed in pink, and smells nice. She's here to offer Samantha a deal she can't refuse. 6 wishes in exchange for 1 tidy trade. Samantha's soul. There's a glaring loophole in their contract. One Samantha fully intends to exploit so she doesn't fork over her soul. After all, she only needs 1 wish to win back her ex. Hellbent to gather the last of the 1,000 souls she needs so that she can be free of her own devilish deal, Daphne grants each of Samantha's wishes, with a twist, so that Samantha is forced to make another. As Samantha's wishes dwindle and Daphne offers her glimpses into the life she thought she wanted, the unlikely pair grows close. Perhaps the girl of Samantha's dreams is actually the stuff of nightmares, but Samantha and Daphne will have to outsmart the devil himself if they want a chance at happily ever after. This is another one where I just love the cover so much, and it just sounds really cute. I like a good supernatural romance. Next I have The Isle in the Silver Sea by Tasha Suri, and this comes out on October 21st. In an England fueled by stories, the knight and the witch are fated to fall in love and doom each other over and over. The same tale retold over hundreds of lifetimes. Simran is a witch in the woods. Veena is a knight of the Queen's court. When the 2 women begin to fall for each other, how can they surrender to their desires when to give in is to destroy each other? As they seek a way to break the cycle, a mysterious assassin begins targeting tales like theirs. To survive, the 2 will need to write a story stronger than the one that fate has given them. But what tale is stronger than the knight and the witch? Next up, I have Girl Dinner by Olivia Blake, and this also comes out on October 21st. Every member of the House, the most exclusive sorority on campus, and all its alumni are beautiful, high-achieving, and universally respected. After a freshman year she could not forget, sophomore Nina Kaur knows being one of the chosen few accepted into the House is the first step in her path to the brightest future possible. Once she's taken into their fold, the House will surely ease her fears of failure and protect her from those who see a young woman on her own as easy prey. Meanwhile, adjunct professor Dr. Sloane Hartley is struggling to return to work after accepting a demotion to support her partner's new position at the cutthroat university. After 18 months at home with her newborn daughter, Sloane's clothes don't fit right, her girl dad husband isn't as present as he thinks he is, and even the few hours a day she's apart from her child fill her psyche with paralyzing ennui. When invited to be the house's academic liaison, Sloane enviously drinks in the way that alumni seem to have it all, achieving a level of collective perfection that Sloane so desperately craves. As Nina and Sloane each get drawn deeper into the arcane rituals of the sisterhood, they learn that living well comes with bloody costs, and when they are finally invited to the table, they will have to decide just how much they can stomach in the name of solidarity and power. I know I'm a broken record at this point, but I love this cover. I love it so much. Like the teal and the bright pink. It's really good. Next up, I have Hazelthorn by C.G. Drews, and this comes out on October 28th. Evander has lived like a ghost in the forgotten corners of the Hazelthorn estate ever since he was taken in by his reclusive billionaire guardian, Byron Lennox Hall, when he was a child. For his safety, Evander has been given 3 ironclad rules to follow. He can never leave the estate. He can never go into the gardens. And most importantly, he can never again be left alone with Byron's charming, underachieving grandson, Laurie. That last rule has been in place ever since Laurie tried to kill Evander 7 years ago, and yet, somehow, Evander is still obsessed with him. When Byron suddenly dies, Evander inherits Hazelthorn's immense Gothic mansion and acres of sprawling grounds, along with the entirety of the Lennox Hall family's vast wealth. But Evander's sure his guardian was murdered, and Laurie may be the only one who can help him find the killer before they come for Evander next. Perhaps even more concerning is how the overgrown garden is refusing to stay behind its walls, slipping its vines and spores deeper into the house with each passing day. As the family's dark secrets unravel alongside the growing horror of their terribly alive, bloodthirsty garden, Evander needs to find out what he's really inheriting before the garden demands to be fed once more. Next up is The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow, and this comes out on October 28th. Sir Una Everlasting was Dominion's greatest hero, the orphaned girl who became a knight, who died for queen and country. Her legend lives on in songs and stories, in children's books and recruiting posters, but her life, as it truly happened, has been forgotten. Centuries later, Owen Mallory, failed soldier, struggling scholar, falls in love with the tale of Una Everlasting. Her story takes him to war, to the archives, and then into the past itself. Una and Owen are tangled together in time, bound to retell the same story over and over again, no matter what it costs. But that story always ends the same way. If they want to rewrite Una's legend, if they want to tell a different story, they'll have to rewrite history itself. I still haven't read any Alex E. Harrow. I have The Once and Future Witches and Starling House, and I haven't read either one of them. But this one also sounds really good, and I will probably be adding it to my shelves at some point. Next up, I have The Strength of the Few by James Islington, and this comes out on November 11th. I have not read The Will of the Many yet. I know, it's a booktube darling. I want to. I just haven't gotten to it, but this is the highly anticipated sequel. I know this is going to be on a lot of people's lists. This is like one of the most anticipated books of the entire year, I feel like. For those unfamiliar with the first book, from what I know about it, it's like pyramid scheme magic, where like your magic is based on like the people below you, but that's about all I know. And of course, I'm not going to read the synopsis for this one. Spoilers. All right, next up I have Brigands and Bread Knives by Travis Baldry, and this also comes out on November 11th. This is the sequel to Legends and Lattes. I'm so excited for this. Fern, who we met in the prequel Bookshops and Bone Dust, is making a return. I'm just really excited for this. I love the Legends and Lattes series. It's just really cozy and wholesome and hopeful, and I can't wait. Next, I have The Last Wish of Bristol Keats by Mary E. Pearson, and this comes out on November 13th. This is the final book in the Courting of Bristol Keats duology. The first book is about a woman who gets pulled into the dark, mysterious world of Fae. There's a romance, as well as I think a mystery surrounding the whereabouts of her father. I love Mary E. Pearson's YA novels. I've heard pretty mixed things about The Courting of Bristol Keats, but I do still want to try it at some point, and so I figured I would put the sequel on the list. All right, well, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Are there any fall releases that I missed? I'm sure there are. Please let me know in the comments. And please let me know what releases you're most excited about this fall. I would love to know. If you're looking for something else to watch, I will leave my latest vlog here. I read Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, The Night and the Moth, and When the Wolf Comes Home. So if you want to hear any of my in-depth thoughts on any of those books, I'll leave that here. And I also did a very recent library reorganization, which I'll also leave here. Please like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more from me. I hope to see you next time. Bye!